when people say you can't just say anti-Semitic, no. If you're willingly choosing to ignore everything we just talked about, to ignore what we just saw, to ignore every time they return hostages, the whole city turning out and celebrating babies, literally strangling babies and then giving them. You're willing to ignore that there's something there. Like in your mind, you're thinking, well, the Jews must have done something, or the Jews and it's so pervasive. And it's the first time that I have to tell you, like, I never understood, like, I used to always say in Nazi Germany, right, I used to say, like, the Germans were like an intellectual people. They were smart people in the ancient civilizations for hundreds of years. How did they get duped into thinking it was okay to throw people in ovens, right?
Well, God said.
Exactly.
It's the parasitic mind virus of illiberalism. Now we're getting into the next podcast.
Right, we'll get there. But I mean,
that's why, because of the parasitic mind virus. Liberalism, as much as I've loved it my entire life, and it's made everything in my life possible,
sure,
it always ends up in illiberalism. Every single time.
Look taken too far.
Look through the history of time. The more liberal you become, the more individual you become, then you start breaking up into your own little thing, and then time goes by and you start finding like-minded people, and then all of a sudden you become tribal. And then they become tribal, and now you have conflict, and then everybody starts digging in, and then you end up with, socialism, and then communism, and then the death of millions,
right?
Before people wake up and say, "Oh shit, that was."
It happens on the other side too. Like I love that one. You see, like the left and right, it goes like this, like this, like this, but then it meets.
That's right.
And it's wild to watch. And I think people are like, "Well, what's the solution?" And we'll obviously have you on plenty. We can do multiple podcasts about this, where we literally specifically probably talk about
one issue.
The NAFTA.
This is our first time.
This is the intro.
There's a lot to talk about.
But we're talking about a solution, right? Like. How do we denazify? Do you hear that? Denazify in Germany. That takes a long time. It's very difficult, strenuous, and one side has to kind of concede that this is an issue for them, right? But this is such a long-standing belief in that culture. I don't know how you get around it, And then when Trump comes out and says, "Hey, we're going to take Gaza and put them in Arab countries," listen, it sounds crazy, but come up with better solutions.